what they think we know when we have to add and subtract a decimal. So I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to see if anybody knows what we do.
Kind of like adding. It's kind of like adding hundreds, like normal.
Yep.
But you just have to put a decimal point where it goes.
Absolutely. So it's just like adding normally, but we end up with a decimal point. Okay. Anybody else? Miss Easter, how do you say your first name? Is it Maria?
Mariah.
Mariah. Go ahead. Tell me.
You have to line up the decimals.
Yes. You have to line up the decimal points. That is the only thing that is different when you add and subtract decimals. That's it. Just line the decimal points up. And if you don't have enough placeholders, then you add placeholders. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to have, so this is kind of like an apply and practice. So this is really like your lesson. You're supposed to be able to kind of sit here and struggle through it. So I'm going to have you guys kind of walk me through how to do it instead of me demonstrating how to do it. Okay? Alright, so what do we call this grid? Does anybody know what type of grid this is?
A decimal grid.
Okay, it is. What else do we call it?
10 by 10 grid.
Yeah, it's a 10 by 10 grid. And so a 10 by 10 grid, how many squares are there?
100.
100 squares. Yep.
100.
Why do we think there's 100 squares?
Because if you look at it, there's 10 squares going down and 10 squares going left to right. So if you do 10 times 10 is 100.
Yep. Okay. What else? What did we just did fractions, right? Okay. So decimals correlate a little bit with percent. So why do you think we have 100 squares?
We have 100 squares because
10 times 10 is 100.
Yeah. Do we have 100% of something?
because the decimals are in the hundredths place.
Yeah, the decimals are in the hundredths place, right? So that is why we're using a hundredths grid, because this is 13 hundredths and this is 58 hundredths. All right, so how many squares will I shade to represent 13 hundredths?
13.
Yeah, it's not a trick question, right? 13 squares. Now, does it matter if I do this row and then 3 squares here, or this row and 3 squares here?
No.
No. I could actually, if I wanted to, I could use the one in the middle and then 3 small ones. It doesn't matter. Okay? So I'm going to use these up here. You can use whatever you want. Okay? And that's B. So what do I need to do with C? How many squares?
58.
Yeah, so 58 squares. So I could do 58 here, but I'm going to do them close to this one, and I'm doing mine in a different color. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? And then I'm going to use these 7 that were left over from up here. So there's 7 and 1 little square for the 8. So how many total squares are shaded now? Jaden, you have a question?
What lesson is this?
4-1.
1.1.
I don't have these like questions on mine.
What do you mean you don't have the questions on yours?
Are you sure you're doing 4.1 lesson?
This is the lesson, not the on your own.
Oh.
So you have to follow along with the lesson on Seesaw, or when you're in Into Math, you have to go to Discover and then click on the section 4.1.
Okay.
Okay? All right. All right, so how many total squares do we have shaded?
0.71.
Okay, so that's what goes here, right? But here would be 71 squares. Okay, how did you know it was 71 hundredths? How did you figure that out?
I added them. Oh.
Yeah. So we just totaled the columns, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then there's one left over. Absolutely. Pretty easy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I need to pause so people can still write and color?
I do.
Going out of my lips, my teeth. Okay, number 2. So this one is going to use a different strategy instead of the hundredths grid. So it says adding decimals, just as we mentioned before. Adding decimals is similar to adding whole numbers. You must first write the numbers so that like places are aligned. So that's what we're going to use this box here, is to align. So while at a grocery store, Robert brought 26 hundredths pound of red grapes and 34 hundredths pounds of green grapes. How many total pounds of grapes did Robert buy? So it says you can use a table to align the decimal places. So all we have to do is just substitute in the 34 hundredths. And then what do we do?
Add.
Yep. So somebody add them for me. What do we get?
0.60.
How'd you get that?
6 plus 4 is 10. And then you carry the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. Then you add the 1 is 6. You put the decimal, and 0 plus 0 is 0.
Yep. So then that answers this question here, right? Did we need to regroup?
Yes.
Yes. And the reason why is because 6 plus 4 is 10. So how many pounds of grapes did Robert buy?
0.160.
Yep, so 60 hundredths of a pound of grape. Alright, so it says, how is adding decimals different from adding whole numbers? Well, we already discussed that too. How is it different?
This will help.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to put the 0 though in that. Wouldn't you not need the 0? In the 0.60? Wouldn't you just be able to put 0.6?
Yeah, I could. I could say 6/10 of a pound, yeah. I could. Yep. Good job, Aiden. Alright, so what did we say?
In 5th grade, my teacher said to always, like if there's a moment like that, to not put the 0, to always put
Yeah.
it with that 0.
Yep.
Yeah, my teacher always said don't use unnecessary numbers.
Yep. Sounds like a plan to me. Alright, so how are adding decimals different than adding whole numbers? What did we say? We have to do what?
You have to line up the decimal.
Yeah, align the decimal point. Align
Can I have a
the...
second on that?
Sure. Alright, so those two were additions, so now what do you think we're going to move to?
Subtraction.
Yep. Alright, so how am I going to represent 42 hundredths on the hundredths grid?
40. You're gonna
Color in 42.
Yeah.
Yep, color in 42 squares. Does it matter? Not really.
Nope.
So I'm going to do these four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like somebody got kicked out. Hold on. Oh, Ethan. Okay. So all of these, right? And then 2 small ones. Alright. How can I represent subtracting the 1900s? What can I do?
You can get a different color like pen or pencil or whatever and mark over the ones that you're taking away.
Yep. Absolutely. Alright, so 19, right? So, let's take these off. And then 9 of these. And I'm going to write remove on the top. So how many are left? Yep. All right, how do we write that as a decimal?
0.23.
Yep. 23 hundredths. Pretty easy, huh?
Mm-hmm. I need some time to write this down.
Okay. Number 4. What subtraction problem can you write to represent this situation? The cardinal weighs 1 5/10 pounds, or ounces, sorry. Find the difference in ounces between the weights of a cardinal and a bluebird. So the bluebird weighs what?
1.09 ounces.
So 1 9/100ths of an ounce. So how am I going to put that in the square? What do I need to put first?
We need to put the one on the top on the second square.
Here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what goes here?
The decimal.
Yep, and then what's next? Where am I going to put here?
You can't put a 0, but you can put anything. Almost there. Yep. What there is. So.
Okay, now what?
Now you would write 1.
Here?
Yeah. And then a point, or a decimal point, and then 0, 9.
I need a subtraction, right?
As a plus, or subtraction.
Okay, so what do I get? What do I got to do?
You do 0 minus 9, which you can't do that. So you would take 1 from the 5, which would make it 4, and then the 0 would become 10.
Yep. So 10 minus 9?
1.
4 minus 0?
4 minus 0 is 4.
Yep. Bring my decimal point.
And bring that down, and 1 minus 1 is 0.
Awesome. So the cardinal weighs
41.
41 hundredths of an ounce more than the weight of the bluebird. Awesome. All right. Check understanding is yours. I'm going to give you maybe like 5 minutes. It shouldn't take that long. Okay? If you are waiting on me after that 5 minutes, move on to the on your own. Okay? You will have today and tomorrow to finish the on your own. I know that my first period class, most of the people finish the on your own today. Okay? Tomorrow, I'm going to try my best to post your test grades with the data so that you guys can work on test corrections if you want to do test corrections. Okay? But that is my goal for tomorrow. And that way, if you finish the on your own today, you can work on test corrections tomorrow. Okay? All right, 5 minutes. Go.
It says how much does he have after buying the apple. So you would do $1, which is 1.00, minus 49 cents, and you can't do 0 minus 9, so you would have to take something from the other 0, and you can't do that, so you'd have to take something from the 1.
So it makes this what, 9 and 10?
Yep.
All right.
And then 10 minus 9 is 1, 9 minus 4 is 5, and 0 minus 0 is 0.
Thank you. So it costs 51. He has 51 cents left over. Awesome. All right. Good job, Jaden. Aiden. You're on.
So it says a group of friends spent $31.95 on movie tickets and $12.54 on refreshments. And how much do they spend in all? So I start with adding 31.95 and 12.54.
Okay, what do I get?
And I add the 5 and 4, which is 9. The 9 and 5, which is 14. Put the 4 down there and put the 1.
Okay.
Then 1 plus 2 is 3, plus the extra 1 is 4. Then 3 plus 1 is 4.
Yep, so $44.49. Good job, both of you. All right, so guys, if you had that, good job. If you did not, make sure you make corrections. All right, so we still have, looks like about 18, maybe not 18 minutes. Yeah, 18 minutes before class is out. Okay, so get as much done of the on your own as you can. If you get it done today, great. That means you can work on test corrections tomorrow. Okay, so if not, you will have tomorrow to work on that on your own as well. Is it open? That's my next question. Is it open in Seesaw? Probably not.
On your own is.
It is? Okay, good. Awesome. All right, then you guys are set to go. I'm here, so if you need help, let me know.
So if we're done with the on your own, we can leave.
Yep. You sure can.
And we do all the questions on your own?
Yes, please.
12 on your own?
Yes.
Miss Lavelle,
Yes.
I'm confused with number 7 on your own.
Number 7 on your own. Okay. Can you can still see my paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So so it's 2 and 31 hundredths. So 2 means I'm going to have two whole ones.
Oh.
Yeah, because this is a whole number, right? So this would mean all of that one, all of this one, and then 31 of this one. So 1, 2, 3, right?
I was confused on.
Yeah, and then one little one, and then this one would be how many? And I don't even have to use this one because, oh yeah, I do. Why would I need to use this one?
Because there isn't 89 squares left over there?
Yeah, there's not 89 squares left. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then, oh wait, I don't need that one. I missed one, didn't I? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. And then I can use these 9 right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that is how you would do that one.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye, Miss Lavelle.
Bye. You done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.